Welcome to Focus on Suppliers. I'm Blake Woolsey.
And I'm Jared Davis. You know what? If you've been waiting on a home and houseware show, wait no further. It's finally here.
I didn't realize that 84% of all consumers are considered consumers who care, meaning that they care about what's going on in their home, as well as they're sustainably really conscious. And we have Laura Phillips, who's SVP with Walmart, who's going to be joining us to talk about that.
I may be one of the uncaring people, and here's why I say that. It's because I have no fashion sense when it comes to the flatware and the gadgets in my kitchen. I've got forks that I had from when I was in college and some bowls my grandfather brought over from the old country. Lisa Winter is joining us today from Oneida to let us know what's new fashion-wise as far as flatware and gadgets go.
And Kevin Hartman, he's going to be joining us, and he is speaking really about having environmentally cleaning solutions that they have been able to provide to consumers.
Oh, you know what else happened? Jeff Clapper and Ron Tarks of 8th & Walton went to the International Houseware Show in Chicago and brought us back some great information, so we'll be speaking with them.
Great. Focus on Suppliers starts now.
Focus on Suppliers, brought to you by 8th & Walton, where suppliers learn fast and grow, and sponsored in part by Saatchi and Saatchi X, CaseStack, Excel Displays and Packaging, Mitchell Communications Group, and other outstanding companies.
Anytime you tune in to Focus on Suppliers, you know you're going to find out where the innovations are and what's trending. Our Home and Houseware show is absolutely no exception. I'm so glad Lisa Winter is here from Robinson Home Products to talk about what's trending in tabletop and flatware. Great to have you here, Lisa.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Jared.
So let's talk about the current trends. What are we looking at over in that category of tabletop?
You know, there's a lot of excitement going on in tabletop right now. In fact, the new modular just went into place over the last few weeks. So if we look at trends in tabletop, it's all about pattern and it's about finish and it's about set size. So if we look at pattern, you've got your option between modern and traditional. One great new pattern we have that's out is called Jagger, and it's a hammered metal. So if you think about design and hammered metal, you see that in jewelry, you see it in other areas. Same thing with tabletop. In terms of finish, the brushed finish has been just very popular over the last 12 to 18 months. We've got some beautiful new brush finish patterns at Walmart. And in terms of set size, we've got service for 4, service for 8, service for 12. One of the brand new and exciting trends is open stock. So in the new modular that we have now, we've got some beautiful open stock pieces. And if you think about open stock, maybe you're just entertaining and maybe you're having a bridal shower and you need some dessert forks, or maybe you're missing teaspoons. I know I'm missing teaspoons from my flatware. It's amazing how they tend to walk away. You can go fill in. Or maybe you've got that millennial that's moving out and maybe they need just 4 or 5 place settings. They can go pick that up. So beautiful assortment of finishes and modern and traditional right now.
Now, as you look at this category, working with other stores and working with Walmart, where do the big differences lie?
Some of the big differences when I look at department stores, that's where my background is. We see a trend in overall tabletop that it's moving more casual, and I have to say Walmart's done a really nice job of capitalizing on that trend. Department stores are getting there. I think they're probably a little farther behind the curve on that. It's still a little more formal in the world of department stores, so that's probably the biggest trend that we see.
Now, you've had a chance to work on national accounts and then transferring to the Walmart team, working directly with Walmart. I know a lot of other suppliers are making this transition. What advice do you have for them?
I think coming into the world of Walmart, it's imperative that you have a good understanding of ReaderLink. That system just is amazing. It's got a wealth of information, excellent, outstanding data reporting as well that's available. So I think I'm at training actually this week, so that's been exciting to gain a better understanding of ReaderLink. I also think it's important that you be very much in tune to the key Walmart initiatives. A couple that come top of mind are OTIF. We as a company are constantly keeping an eye on that measure and trying to continually improve it. Omnichannel is another key measure. I think it's important to make sure that you maximize your online presence, so not only brick and mortar, but also online as well.
All right, Lisa, we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you, Jared.
The International Home and Houseware Show was recently held in Chicago, and 8th & Walton had representation there. I am so excited to have our next guest on. Because he signs my check every week. It is the man I adore, President and CEO of 8th & Walton, Mr. Jeff Clapper. Great to finally have you on this show as one of my guests.
Hey, thank you. I've been looking forward to it myself.
Not your first time here, and I know not your first time at the International Home and Houseware Show. When did you first attend?
We started attending a few years ago. It's held every year in roughly the same March, springtime in Chicago, and we started going a few years ago, and it's been really interesting to see, kind of how it's evolved and how the suppliers have changed and just what is important to them at the time and how that's kind of evolved over the years too.
So when you went there this year, what were some of the biggest differences that you saw from the first couple of years that you attended?
Sure. Well, one thing that really caught our attention early on is we were aware that Walmart had senior leadership at the show, and I think that was a shift from some past years, and we also know from conversations that we had that was very well received by the suppliers there. So that was definitely of note. And then maybe another general observation was simply some of the exhibit halls that had a lot more to do with home appliances, and it's called the Wired and Well section. They really stepped up their game. Their booths many of them had nice, big, new booths. So I'm not sure that there's a great trend to be spotted there, but it was noticeable.
One of the things that we focus a lot on here is e-commerce. Mm-hmm. And so what has been the effect of e-commerce on this show from the first time that you attended?
Yeah, that's a great question. When we started going a few years ago, a lot of the brick and mortar suppliers who have made a great business out of supplying brick and mortar retailers for many years, they were anywhere from standoffish to dismissive of e-commerce as a part of their business, and that has shifted substantially. This year, the conversations that we had with suppliers around e-commerce, they were aware of it, and almost to a very constructive and aggressive point where they were looking for new ways to grow their business online with Walmart and with a number of other retailers.
The big hot topic, Northwest Arkansas amongst the supplier community, our favorite 4 letters, OTIF, yes. On time in full. What's the word on time in full up around the Chicago area? Has it branched out up there? Did you get any vibe?
Yeah, well, the on time in full initiative for the International Home and Houseware Show was on everybody's mind, and we were really struck by that also because it was only announced a few weeks ago, or a few weeks prior to the show, really, and suppliers all the way up to the owners and CEOs of those businesses, they knew it well, they were informed, and they were starting to work on it where they needed to make changes. So I think we didn't necessarily expect to see that right away, but we did. And then also very positive, generally very positive reaction to GRS and on time in full as far as how that has evened out orders and at the same time not necessarily impacted sales. So I think generally pretty positive feedback from the suppliers and great awareness too.
After going to this year's show, and you've attended for several years, now what excites you about this category or about the technology, the e-commerce going forward for 2017 and the next time that you attend the show?
Yeah, well, I think both of those topics, we've kind of said here around our conversations that if suppliers aren't focusing on e-commerce or OTIF, then they're really missing a couple of big initiatives right now. And I think with focus on both those things, suppliers and housewares and general merchandise, they've got a lot of great upside opportunity and efficient business opportunity to come.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Great to see you.
You too.
We'll be right back.
Don't miss our new fun podcast, the 8th & Walton Conference Call.
As technology evolves, what we once thought was science fiction is becoming a reality. Case in point, smart appliances. Newer models know when you need more supplies, and they place the order for you. So in the future, you'll never have to think about dishwasher soap or laundry detergent, which means you'll never run out. The latest smart nursery item actually turns on the nightlight and manages the diaper inventory. At the National Retail Federation's Big Show this year, transaction technology leader NCR pitched a new device that competes with Amazon's Echo, connecting any retailer directly to shoppers right from the kitchen counter. These no-brainer reorder scenarios could create the ultimate in consumer loyalty to brands integrated right into the devices. Smart brands will make sure their products are the replenishment of choice before smart machines become standard in all new residential construction. That's marketing foresight, and that's how you win the future.
CaseStack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, CaseStack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. CaseStack, retail logistics is what we do.
Walmart announced new on-time and in-full deadlines for suppliers. Set yourself up for success with OTIF. Register today for 8th and Walton's new OTIF class at 8thandwalton.com/OTIF. Classes begin March 13th.
As this is our home and houseware special, we want to continue our conversation and focus on some best practices. So we invited with us Kevin Hartman of Summit Brands. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You all specialize in niche household chemicals. And the moment I hear that, I think innovation at its probably very best, niche and innovation. How have you all approached innovation as a company?
So innovation is very important to us as a company. We try to look at consumer insights and some category trends. And what we try to do is find that space that's not being addressed in the marketplace right now. Areas that are not general purpose, but more specific uses around the home where consumers looking for a solution that maybe they don't even know they need at first.
And there's that gap, and you all can fill in that gap for them.
Exactly.
E-commerce is a space in which all suppliers are having to turn their attention to. As a company, how have you all started to play in this space?
So we've invested in e-commerce from the onset, but it's still been very minimal. We try to look at ways that we can educate the consumers on what our products are, what they do, and how they satisfy that solution around the home. So we've invested in developing content, images which will show the products to the consumer online, know what they're looking for. And then finally, we're in the process now of developing how-to videos so the consumer knows what to expect when they get the product home and use it.
So whether it's before they buy it or after they buy it, they can go back on and look at those videos.
Exactly.
What are some best practices you might share with others about doing that business on e-commerce platform?
So the key is making sure that you're looking at it because it's an ever-changing marketplace. Make sure you're communicating to all groups because there's opportunities from the millennials clear through the silent generation. Everybody's beginning to use more and more e-commerce to shop.
We're all adapting to that, right? Sustainability, I don't necessarily think about that when I say household chemicals. What has Summit Brands done to be sustainable?
So as a company, we've embraced the practices of sustainability for several years now. And we look at our products from cradle to grave and kind of tear them apart a little bit, understanding, are we using the right chemistry that makes the product sustainable? Do we provide the best packaging so we use recyclable products to make sure that it is not developing new waste out there in the marketplace?
So a very holistic approach. So how can the consumer trust you?
So consumers can look for certain products and find EPA designations, which is called Design for the Environment. And several of our products carry that designation now, which can be a trusted emblem when a consumer's out shopping for chemicals to use around the home.
Yeah, that sounds like something really worth celebrating as a company to get that designation.
It is. It's a big deal for us.
Kevin, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
As a supplier, you know many of your consumers are looking for new ways to save money by using more sustainable products. Many of the innovations for sustainable products are actually being developed by the consumers that use them every day. And that's the case with Tanya Lewis, who is president, CEO, and inventor of Green Glider. Great to have you here, Tanya. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Now, tell me about what inspired you to develop Green Glider.
Well, as a single mom, I had an infant that was getting ready to crawl on the floor, and I noticed that I was going to have to start mopping my floor every day to keep it clean for him. So I went out and I purchased a spray mop system that used disposable mop pads, and in about a week I went through the box of disposables and I thought, there's got to be a better way. And so I went online looking for something that was reusable and washable, and I couldn't find anything, but what I did find was this massive market of people looking for the exact same thing I was.
Let's talk about the sustainability of your product, and I know you actually went out and developed a patent for it. Tell us about the sustainability that you're delivering to the consumer.
So I patented the combination of microfiber and chamois. Microfiber cleans, but it doesn't absorb. Chamois cloth, 4 layers thick inside the green glider, absorbs, but it doesn't clean. So you put them together and it makes perfect sense. What makes it sustainable is that it is washable and reusable hundreds of times, and it is meant to be used over and over instead of being thrown away after just one use.
So that's the first step. You have the idea, you go out and you develop it. Tell us about the rest of the journey, going from first-time inventor to now on the shelves at Walmart stores.
As a first-time inventor, I started selling online, and I started selling in catalogs, and then I made it to home shopping and got on QVC, where we sold $250,000 worth of product in a matter of 1 hour. So that was really exciting, and there was an 80-year-old lady who had seen Green Glider on QVC, and she reached out to me wanting to know if she could buy my product directly from me. And so I sent her a Green Glider for free, and I told her, you know, you can just go ahead and try it out, and if you like it, you know, you can purchase more directly from me. So she did, and she sent me a check for 14 more Green Gliders and gave them out to all of her friends. And so her son, who lives out of town, had come to visit his parents, and she showed him the Green Glider mop pad, and he contacted me and said, you know, thank you for being very kind to my mother. She showed me your product, and she really loves it, and frankly, so do I. He said, I live in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I get products into Walmart for a living. How would you like to get in front of the buyer? Wow. So this is the sort of thing that happens every day, right. But that's how I got into Walmart, just a random act of kindness, and brought me in.
Now, for suppliers out there, or inventors like yourself, what advice do you have for them to work with Walmart or to get their product up and running?
The advice that I would give to any new inventors or new suppliers of Walmart is to educate yourselves. There's a lot of information to be a successful supplier at Walmart. If you have access to ReaderLink, my advice is to really go in there and do your homework, read as much as you can, and find a mentor, somebody who has already got a product into Walmart, and learn from their successes, their mistakes.
Well, Tanya, thank you so much for visiting with us today. We appreciate your time.
Take your career to the next level with our accounting, invoicing, and deductions class.
What if you created a town today? What would that town stand for? What matters and what would stand out? And where would you find this new town? Bentonville, Arkansas. Visit Bentonville, a new American town.
Walmart announced new on-time and in-full deadlines for suppliers. Set yourself up for success with OTIF. Register today for 8th and Walton's new OTIF class at 8thandwalton.com/OTIF. Classes begin March 13th.
As we talk about homes and housewares in this particular show, we want to welcome Laura Phillips, SVP with Walmart. Thank you for being with us again.
Thank you.
So Doug McMillon in November had a really important speech in which he launched some new goals for sustainability and global responsibility. Share some of that information with us and where you all are headed.
Great. First of all, it's great to be back with 8th and Walton, with you, Blake, and with all of the suppliers that we know watch the show. And it's good to be able to speak with the suppliers about our work and share the journey and also what's next for Walmart. So you're right. Doug gave a really important speech in November at the Net Impact Conference, and we'd encourage all of our suppliers to look on YouTube and watch that if they haven't already. And at that speech, he talked about the work that we've done in global responsibility, how we started in sustainability, and we set out 3 ambitious goals more than 10 years ago. And then he really challenged us to look forward into the future and really set out a couple of big new targets for us around the areas of opportunity, which is the work we do in our own associates and with women and others made in the USA in our supply chain, around sustainability, which is our work that we've been doing and will continue to broaden and deepen in energy, in waste, and then in sustainable products. And then finally in local communities, where we're such an important part of our local communities, where we show up in times of need and with our associates to really invest in the community. So he set out a vision around those three areas with many new goals, in particular in sustainability, that we wanted to share with our suppliers today.
So as a supplier, if I'm watching the show, how do I make this part of what I am doing in the work that I do with Walmart and Sam's Club?
So we studied a lot about what do our customers expect, what are some areas that are going to be good for our business, and what are those key issues in the environment that are important to our stakeholders and that, broadly speaking, are important to our society. And we really landed on the big three goals we've had are the right ones, but we have more work to do around those areas. So let me talk a minute about all of those. So specifically energy. We're still committed to 100% renewable energy. And we want to work with our suppliers to continue to reduce emissions and improve energy intensity. In fact, through our products and our product footprints, as well as factories and in agriculture. So that one, energy and emissions, will be a really big area of work that we'll do together with our suppliers. The second goal is really around waste. We have a goal to get to zero waste to landfill in our key markets. We want to challenge our suppliers to look at waste as well. Waste is just cost. And so thinking about packaging, reducing, optimizing, using the sustainable materials, as well as an issue like food waste, and our own suppliers getting to zero waste. Finally, in products, we really want to work together with our suppliers to reduce what we call the environmental footprint of products that we sell, so reducing emissions and thinking about resources like water and deforestation. We also want to work together to be the most trusted, affordable retailer of safer and healthier food and products. Thinking about reformulation and chemicals of concern, those types of areas are really important as we move forward. Finally, people matter in the supply chain, and working together with responsible sourcing to ensure worker dignity in everything that we do. And finally, as Doug said, when customers shine a light on Walmart, we want them to trust the products that we sell. We want them to see all the good work we're doing and feel great about it. So the ultimate goal is increasing trust and transparency through all the work that we're doing, which will really help us together to serve our customers and to really compete in the future.
And so how can a supplier communicate this with Walmart and the work that they're doing in this space?
We love hearing what our suppliers are doing, and we have so many suppliers who are leading, so thank you, and continue that. Share it with your buyers in your merchant meetings with the marketing team. Let them know the great work you're doing. Share it with our team and share it with the customer. You have great stories to tell. We love it when you tell the stories. And again, we know that we have a lot to do together. We're excited about the progress, but more to do.
Great. Laura, thank you. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. We appreciate it.
If you're looking for something creative to put in that Easter basket in the coming weeks, all you have to do is pay attention for the next couple of minutes. Brenda Allison from ReaderLink is back with some great things on the bookshelf. Great to see you again, Brenda.
Jared, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So we're talking about Easter. You have something special, looks
I
like.
brought Peppa Pig. She's so cute. She's British. She's been very big in England for a while. She's here in the States now, and she's a hit with girls and boys. She has a little brother named George and a whole family. Go ahead and pick that one up. I have an activity for you today.
Okay, here we go.
So
now
this is a great Easter book, and then if you take the book jacket off, what? It's a coloring poster.
Oh, you snuck that one in on me.
That's right. You didn't bring your crayons today?
No, that's great.
Yeah, so it's an extra activity, and books make great gifts for kids and for adults.
So I noticed that, what's this gentleman's name here?
His name is George.
George is looking kind of nervously at my Pioneer woman. He's probably got a big bucket of ribs there or something.
Yeah, she may. So George is right to be apprehensive. This is the Housewares show, and I know that Walmart has had great success with the Pioneer Woman's line of housewares. They're really cute. I have many of them myself, and she's had great success with her cookbooks as well. So this is a great gift. It's great recipes. She shows you step-by-step in pictures how to do everything. It's all delicious and not exactly light, but delicious.
No, just in time for the Easter feast.
You got it.
So what is new on your bookshelf at the house?
So this is called The Last Child. It's by John Hart. It's not necessarily a new book, but it's out on shelves now at a great low price. Walmart's selling it for less than $8. And it's a great mystery, a story of a boy whose twin sister goes missing. Everyone assumes she is dead, but he doesn't. He goes looking for her. It's told from different points of view. It'll keep you up at night. It's a great, satisfying read.
So we have something for everyone's Easter Easter basket this year.
That's right.
All right, fantastic. Brenda, thank you so much for stopping by again.
Thanks for having me.
As we were talking about on time in full with CaseStack, the conversation was so rich that we asked Colby Beland to come back and continue the conversation with us. So
great to be here again.
Thank you for coming back and joining us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I want to start off with the reality of OTIF and what kind of impact this can have to the supplier.
Sure. Well, the main thing is for people to understand is OTIF is a flow initiative from Walmart. It is getting the goods through Walmart's supply chain the most efficient way, because if the product comes early, it backs up the stores, and if the product comes late, it's not on the shelf to make the sale. So Walmart is targeting to have a single day arrival so the product flows efficiently to the DCs. That being said, they've developed on time in full. On time in full is a metric. Supply chain reliability is gone. On time in full is the new measurement, and it is a metric that basically requires either a less than truckload supplier or a full truckload supplier to deliver within a parameter that Walmart set. That baseline was set in January of 2017, and they want to see a 10% improvement over that baseline between now and August. In August, they're going to start fining suppliers that are not able to meet the improvement that Walmart is looking for.
So scheduling is a big deal at this point. You were looking at things from a quarterly perspective. It looks like we're looking month to month to month to month.
OTIF is measured on a monthly basis, where supply chain reliability is measured on a quarter or 13-week period, the Walmart 13-week schedule. That's gone, and it's now going to a monthly basis. So if you have one bad week over a 4-week period, it's very difficult to recover. In supply chain reliability, it was spread out over 13 weeks. So you could probably have 1 or 2 bad weeks and still recover to not be penalized. In this situation, 4 weeks, 1 bad week at 95% versus 90%, there's really no way to recover, and you're more likely going to receive a penalty.
Hopefully, though, with it being on a month-to-month basis, a company can make a course correction quickly rather than waiting for 3 months at a time or 13 weeks at a time.
Well, it's definitely going to be brought to the forefront, and if you're an agile company, the possibility is there. But quite honestly, if you aren't working on getting that improvement today, and you're waiting until August to see what happens, you're going to start out of the gate with penalties, and it's going to be that much more difficult to get your processes streamlined to meet the measurements that Walmart's looking for. So for any supplier that is not working on it now, they need to be
working on it.
They need to be working on it right now, because August will be here before you know it, and those penalties are going to start rolling in on a 4-week period instead of a 13-week period.
Penalty. Talk about it. Money, obviously.
Money.
That's where people are most concerned. How much can this cost a supplier?
Just like supply chain reliability, it's 3% of the value of the product.
So it could be very costly for someone.
Extremely, especially the higher value of the product, the more expensive it's going to be.
Okay, one last piece of advice for our viewers when it comes to on time in full.
One last piece of advice, we kind of already talked about it, is if you're not working on it, you need to be working on it. And if your internal team cannot get the 10% improvement that Walmart is looking for, you need to find outside sources of help. Whether that be a consultant, whether that be a third party, whether that be a consolidator like CaseStack, definitely you have to start working on it now.
And so that scorecard can give them good information, and then reaching out and educating yourself.
Absolutely. There's a plethora of information on ReaderLink, and for anyone that is confused, go to ReaderLink, find the OTIF homepage, and just start digging in.
Great. Colby, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Connect with us online. Follow 8th and Walton on Facebook. Get retail questions answered fast. 8th and Walton Merchant Advisors are standing by to help you. Chat now at 8thandwalton.com/chat.
Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product launches there.
You know, Blake, as we were going back and watching this show again, I know it was a home and houseware show, but I couldn't help but notice kind of a theme of change throughout every conversation that we had.
I couldn't agree with you more in talking to Laura Phillips about their 2025 goals to be achieved with help of their suppliers. I really do not believe that anybody else in the world could make it happen other than Walmart and their suppliers. They can make that sort of change.
And then this show in Chicago, the big houseware show that I was talking with Jeff about. Okay, this pan, the Smarty Pans.
So much fun.
You throw the food in and it tells you all the things in it. I mean, the technology is happening on our stovetop and everywhere in the kitchen. It's absolutely amazing.
And technology is important, but then the Kevin Hartmans are talking about the type of products that you can put into your dishwasher to make sure your dishwasher is clean. Now, I have 3 boys. I think they should be able to clean my dishwasher and all the dishes, but that doesn't seem to happen.
I thought you were going to say you wanted a product for your boys to make sure they were clean. So thank you for
there are days where I want that as well. So great show.
Yeah, thank you for being with us.
Yes. We'll see you next time on Focus on Suppliers.